How's it going, guys? So it's a little bit different of a video, and I apologize for the wind. This state's pretty much always windy. But what I wanted to go over was the Jeep Gladiator and kind of an emergency or a standard kit that I keep in my vehicle at all times. It's winter time, of course. You can see the snow out, and being a northern kind of rural location, I carry a little bit more stuff than probably most people, but I figured I'd share the stuff that I keep inside the Jeep Gladiator or the other vehicles that I've had in the past. So, for example, the Jeep Gladiator 2020, this is the Rubicon model, really awesome. Really like this vehicle, owned it for a good bit of time. So there's a few different solutions to storing things in this vehicle. Now, there is more room than the Wrangler. At least that's what I had in the past, was a Jeep Wrangler, Willys Edition JKU, so the unlimited version that had the 4 doors. So the bed kind of opens up an opportunity of more things, and in a way at the moment less things, because there are no caps available for this vehicle, which is pretty unfortunate at this moment. Now, from what I've been told, is here in a little bit there will be. So I had to come up with a solution to put some gear together, because I have a lot of gear, and being out literally in the middle of nowhere, I think I'm about 75 miles from the nearest town of actually where I am located at the moment, just because it's a nice area to be. But I like to carry certain gear with me that can possibly get me home in a situation, which I actually had a legitimate situation a couple weeks ago, so this is kind of why I'm doing this video. I might get to that story in a different video, but I'm going to show you what I carry. So this is a typical job box here in the actual background. Now this is a 42 model Jobmaster chest. A little expensive, but it's nice because it almost fits, well, pretty much fits perfectly in the back of the bed. Now this Pelican case is not often what I carry with me, but once in a while if I'm carrying extra gear. Also, these can be thrown up on top of the roof rack, and they're pretty light depending on what you put in them. So it gives me more options available to me. So I also carry fuel in the back. These are, I think, the Wavian. I've had these for a good while, used them for probably about 3 years now, and they are absolutely outstanding when it comes to storing fuel. These are 2.5 gallon ones, if you can see pretty well. They stick right in the side here, and I cable them up with a lock. Now, it's not impossible for someone to steal them, because, you know, if you had the proper tools, yeah, you can do it. But just for like really quick sticky fingers, like walking out of, like, say a department store or, you know, Walmart or something like that, someone just carrying off with them, it helps a little bit. So let me get up in the vehicle and actually show you kind of what's going on in here, how it's set up. So immediately when you open it up, there's my get home bag or bug out bag, depending on what you guys view the type as. I mean, I can kind of classify it as everything. And yes, it is very large. I mean, it's a big bag, but I mean, it was -10 about 2 weeks ago, and it's not even really the start of winter. Well, I guess it is technically the start of winter, but it's going to get colder and more progressive. So I got to have a lot of layers and a lot of equipment to keep me alive in those situations. So let me set you down really quick. It's probably not going to be the best angle at the moment. Just bear with me. I'm going to get this out of here. If you want a link or see what I have and what I carry in this bag, I'll put a link below. All right, so let's kind of get in here. A lot going on, right? Oh my goodness. So pretty much first off is I have a recovery kit. So I'll actually go in more detail about this. I'm going to just talk about certain things, and then I'm going to pull some things out for you guys to see. So recovery kit, which I'll go over in a little bit. Here's a tool kit over here. Obviously hitch. Here's the Wavian spout. Here's a nice tent. This is a one-man tent, really easy to use, along with one of the thermarests. I have a Whoopee with a waterproof bivy over here. There is lots of food kind of stuffed all around, like WD-40. I have tire chains in the bottom here, which I am going to get to. and kind of pull out for you guys to see a little bit more of. I carry a stove and just other simple stuff like tire chain equipment. And I think in the bottom, yeah, there's a whole toolkit down here. So this stuff really fits in here very nicely. I mean, it's very secure considering the vehicle, or considering the box, and it fits in the vehicle just fine as a temporary, because they don't really make too many things for this vehicle at the moment. So let me kind of change the angle around on the camera and I will show you more detail of what I have in here. So I laid out a few things. I actually pulled it out of the chest so you guys can actually see what's going on here. So initially, for where I am, like I said, Northern, I run 2 sets of chains on my vehicle. Now, luckily, this being a Jeep Rubicon, I have locking rear and front differential. So this helps out with chains a lot. So here's some accessories. I'll get to them later. But I wanted to specifically show, and I need to actually WD-40 these up because I did use them, but I did go with a more aggressive chain. Man, these things are really rusting up. I gotta throw them in some WD-40 and whatnot. But anyways, I went for very aggressive base chains because normally when I'm using these and have used them, it's been pretty bad, like to the point that I absolutely need them. So they ride in the back, in the bottom there. They're heavy. They add extra weight since there's two sets, or one set in this. They give some weight to the back tires, which actually helps out quite a bit in the snow. So I also carry extra wire with me. As you can see, this one's a new spool because the other one completely got rusted up. This is really good for chains in case like one of the links break or anything. It's just really handy to have to repair things. I also prefer these kind of like the spider aspect of the chains to keep them on. Sometimes people don't like these. They don't work too well. They make different sizes. Originally, these are too big for my vehicle, and they kind of work. They didn't have these ones in stock, but that's what I went with. An alternative, too, is you can use the smaller bungee cords and put them in an X or a diamond or, star, or whatever you prefer, and they work really well. They're kind of a cheaper option than these, maybe about the same price, but just in case like these break or something like that, bungee cords are an option to use. So push these kind of back out of the way, and here is a recovery kit, specifically what I use. So first thing in here, there is a tree saver or a strap. So it's open-ended on both ends. Works really well. I think this one is a 20-footer. I definitely prefer using this. I do have steel cable. I'm planning on upgrading here, but I mean, there hasn't been really a need. I also carry 2 sets of gloves in here as well, just for myself and then for someone else, because sometimes I might have somebody with me. Very, very nice to have, rather than someone struggling in, negative 10-degree weather trying to put chains on. That's just no fun at all. Also carry shackles with me. Not the soft shackles. I think I'm gonna upgrade to soft shackles eventually, but I have so many of these that it's kind of pointless. It's nice to have, and these are for attachment points. And then one thing some people don't carry is a snatch block. Now, I specifically always carry one of these with me because it gives me so much more capabilities with the winch of the vehicle to do things that a normal winch won't be able to do. Number one, right off the bat, is it'll double its pulling power. Mine's an 8,000-pound winch, and I can immediately pull it to 16,000 pounds. Now, obviously, it's going to half your speed, but it's going to double your power. You can get different angles with it. You can go off at a 90-degree angle or pull another vehicle off on a steep terrain, or pretty much anything. You can look up, there's different videos. I'm not going to go over it, specifically how to use it. It just makes sense. Most of you probably already know how to use it. But I keep it all reasonably contained in here. Now, I used to carry my actual cable. I don't have a wireless winch. I used to keep my cable in here, but it rides in the back. I don't like it in the back chest, just in case if I really need to use it just like quickly. So I keep it actually up front in the vehicle. So I'll move this stuff out of the way as well. And then one of the last things is I carry just a reasonably simple toolkit in here, and I'll show some of the stuff. Now, there's zip ties in here. I just threw them in there. They're really handy to have, of course. But this inside, it's not very fancy at all, but I just picked up a small, like a cheaper, these are Cobalt tools, nothing too majorly expensive, just in case if I break them or, you know, they get stolen or something like that, then I'm not too concerned. The only thing that I went pretty expensive on is I have 2 sets of channel locks, the actual good kind, because I really prefer good quality channel locks. That's just me. And vice grips as well. I went kind of expensive on the actual vice grip brand. I also carry a small saw in here. This is just something cheaper, but it works really well. So there's also a socket set in the back, but I'm not going to drag it out because it's just a simple socket set. Everybody knows what that is. So this is some of the stuff. Obviously you saw the rest of the stuff like food, and I have water and other things in there, and shelter, blankets, other things like that in the back. But you pretty much saw what a lot. Now I'm going to go to the actual inside of the vehicle, like underneath the seats, and I'm going to show you different things that I also carry. All right, so we'll make our way back. So it's a little bit messy in here, so I apologize, but some of the stuff is taken out. So right off the bat, I carry a AR pistol with me. Now this doesn't stay in the vehicle. This comes in and out when I go into the house, and if I'm going far, like today, I went, you know, more than 50 miles away from where I'm going, so typically I will run that. So along with other gear, like this isn't always in here. This is stuff like I carry a waterproof bag, and depending on what I'm doing or where I'm going, I'll just stuff that bag filled with different things and toss it in here just for like camera stuff and whatnot. So nice thing about the Jeep is these actually lock the back seats. They lock in the up position. Now, I don't know how sturdy they are, but specifically, I carry a shotgun back here. This is a Mossberg 500. Yes, it is loaded, and yes, it's legal in my state to carry a loaded rifle or shotgun in my vehicle as long as it's not on my person. So that's kind of the benefit of my state. So also what's in here is, I guess I'll move the shotgun out of here real quick. I carry some extra clothes. There's like a hoodie and a fleece down here, but also I carry a high lift jack in the back, so it keeps it out of the weather. I see a ton of people always keep their high lift jack, like, you know, in the front or on the side or in their bed, and it constantly gets salt and just water, and it's just whenever you need to use them. Like a couple weeks ago, I used a friend of mine's, and it was just so rusted and trashed, it would work off and on. So I keep mine inside out of the weather. I also carry a decent axe. I think that's a Holtzbrook axe, really nice. They're about $100, but they're completely worth it. I really like their stuff, and I kind of always have that in here. And then depending on where I'm going, I'll throw a chainsaw like in the back or something if I think I'm going to need it. So I have different opportunities or different ways of dealing with things. So put that back in there. Like I said, these are nice because they just pop up. A little bit messy down here. There is also a fire extinguisher down there. This I actually was using. This is a fold-up shovel. I carry that in here. I was using it, so it's normally in the back, but, you know, things happen. So this is kind of real world. So also you can kind of see here on the back of the headrest, I actually got this idea from someone else, but I always carry a headlamp on the back. I always know where it is. Easy to find. I also carry a tourniquet down there on the back, so it's a little bit difficult to reach. I get it. People are like, oh, if you get in a car accident, how are you going to reach behind your head? I always carry a tourniquet on me anyways. So I have one on me, and I have one behind me for passenger use. Passenger can easily get this, or the people in the back if needed. Next thing is going to be under the seats. So let's see if I can move this stuff kind of out of the way. There's actually a panel back here too, one of the orange panels that is actually very helpful. So there's a lot of stuff, but I kind of want to show what's underneath here. There's actually a whole nother jacket. There's one of the super siphons. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but this is how you can put water back and forth, you know, easily. It has a little marble in it, and move it back and forth, and it's like a poor man's pump, and it'll be able to pump water or fuel or whatever you need out of there. So my cable is also back here for my winch. Here's a full trauma kit. Unfortunately, the trauma kit that some of you may have saw in the past was completely stolen out of a different vehicle that I own. Unfortunately, that took a lot of time, but I have another trauma kit in here. Also kind of stuffed up in there, you see jumper cables, paracord, there's some tie-down straps over here, and then there's Gore-Tex. So I have bottoms and a top. So if it's ever raining, you know, if you're working on your vehicle and it's pouring down rain or snow or something like that, it's a nice shell to have to keep you warm. There's also a whole bunch of batteries under there as well. AA, AAAs, all the fun stuff like that, along with a fleece that I have in here, kind of push it down. But also, like this, the trauma kit also complements specifically the tourniquet. So other than that, I mean, there's not too much. I guess I could go to the front here. Sorry about the sun, it's a little bit bright, but I have a Warn winch up here. It's kind of sealed up right now. This is an 8,000 pound, I think it's our VR 8000 with a roller block, which I would highly recommend getting these if you don't. They're pretty reasonably cheap, and I recently just used this in a tight angle. Like, it was almost coming out 90 degrees off to the side here to get me out of a situation, and I was very happy I had this because it doesn't put as much stress on your cable. Now, I want to upgrade cable to more synthetic here in the future, but it's very expensive. It's like 350 bucks for it, so it's kind of debating right now if I want to do that. I also carry some shackles up here as well. I know people can just show up and steal them. That's why I carry extras in the back if necessary. So that's pretty much my entire kit at the moment for this vehicle. And if you guys kind of like this stuff, it's a little bit different. I might as well close up that door. What the heck? But if you guys like this stuff, please let me know. Like, subscribe. I mean, I'm trying different things out. I mean, this is not a way for me to make money or anything like that. I'm not honestly trying to do that. Let me extend this out and flip it around. I don't know if you guys can see me pretty well, but this isn't a way to make money, or I just do this for fun, honestly. I have, you know, I've done a lot of things differently, learned from a lot of older folks that have done things in the past and they know the best. So I try to carry that on, and I just like sharing stuff. So if you guys like this, hit that like, definitely subscribe. More stuff coming up. If you have any questions about things, put it in the comments below. I'm pretty good at answering stuff as much as I can. I work a lot, but I do my best when I can. So thanks everybody. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have a great day.